everybody, welcome back to Drawsome. Today we're going to be drawing keys, similar to this, like a key. So yeah, I got this from as a wedding, favor at a wedding reception. It was really cute because it's also a bottle opener. I thought that was pretty cute. So I'm gonna probably draw this today since it was sitting on my desk and it's a key. Sort of. It looks like a key. So yeah, that's what we're gonna draw. So I figured first I'm gonna draw like the realistic, like it's in its own size, and then we can like blow up portions of it and like isolate portions and draw those maybe. So let's do this. We'll kind of eyeball, and I'm drawing it as I'm seeing it, so you may or may not agree. I think it's going to end up being slightly larger, but that's okay. It will be just fine. So this is just basically just drawing what you see. And yeah. If you see a line here, you draw it here. And so on and so forth. Like that. We have to remember that it's a 3D thing. So that way we have this 3D look to it. Like so. And then we'll just continue on like that until we get all the way to the top. It's always good to try and draw, still life, things you see in front of you. I know that's pretty much what we did last week too. But it is fantastic practice. I cannot say it enough. Is just to draw things that you see around you. It's just fantastic practice, and it helps muscle memory, because once you've drawn it once, you can try and draw it again without using the what you see in front of you, and see how accurate you are. Sometimes it takes a few times drawing it, but that's okay. It's just practice. I mean, you're not going to be selling this to a museum or anything like that. It's just practicing. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Is everybody set and ready for Inktober? Are you even going to be doing Inktober? Let me know. I love watching other people's Inktober videos. I think it's quite interesting to see all the different techniques. And all all the different takes on the prompts, and if you made your own prompt list, and that would be cool. Yeah, I was gonna screw that one up. Does anybody else have the issue where it's like if you're drawing one direction, you're fine. If you try and go back the other direction, it doesn't come out quite as well. I don't know if it's because I'm right-handed or just what. I think that right here. I've always had problems drawing from right to left. I can draw left to right, but right to left, it gives me an issue. I honestly think it's because I'm right-handed. I watch other people's videos and I'm like, how are they using scissors with their left hands? My left hand is, I can't do anything with it. Just does not want to work for me. So I'm in awe of anybody who's left-handed, which it's so funny. My mother's left-handed, my oldest son is left-handed. And it just boggles my mind. It's like, how do you do that? Oh, this was supposed to come all the way over. Okay. See, I screwed that up. Here we go. And that comes over. There we go. Looking better already. Let's see if I can do this the opposite direction and make it come out right. No. I didn't get the angles right. Yeah. We'll get this. We will get this. Let's see. There's the problem right there. Trying to do this. I love fancy keys like this though, where it looks like it's real old and kind of antique-ish. It's just something I just really love. I used to collect keys. I don't know what happened to my collection of keys, but I know it's around here somewhere. Got all these little swirls and everything. Am I missing something? No. I don't think so. There we go. Awesome. It's a little lopsided, but it's okay. It'll work. And then we'll just do a little bit of shading on it. because you can see the shading in here. Shading is important to show that it's something that has dimension, to show that it has depth. And just makes it look more realistic. Now we have a highlight here that goes along the top here. And as we learned before, you have to show that things are round. And that's how you do that, is with shadows and light. Like so. I mean, we could get really super detailed with this if we wanted to. Just depends on how much time you want to take, you know, and do things like that. Notice I'm not using any smudging effects also, because this is such a dark piece, it's not necessary. We actually want that to be a little on the darker side so that it shows, and it doesn't have to be smudged for that reason. So all you have to do is just lighten up on your pencil. Just go lighter and lighter and lighter. And then the shadow, you can make it super dark. Like that. Highlight right there, like that. That looks pretty good. It's a little lopsided at the top, but it's okay. You get the idea, you know, the gist of it. Now, this portion down here, the tip where you can see the highlight here, and then going up the barrel there, I kind of want to magnify that so you can see. Oh, first, hold on, we have a shadow underneath of this. We don't want it just floating in space. That would not be good. This is where you can do smudging, because it'll help blend that shadow out. See how that works? It's like you're just making like a little, see the 3 bumps there? So you're just gonna blend that and make it part of a shadow, because it's gonna show those 3 little, like that. Same for here. Anybody ever watch Peter Pan and his little shadow and how he had to have his shadow sewn back on? That's from shadows. But they're like almost exact opposite, or not even opposite, just an exact replica. I guess it could be the opposite. Of what the sun is just outlining. Or your body's making an outline, rather. Whatever you've got in the sun. Here. There we go. Oh. Okay, so I wanted, like I said, I want to magnify this part here because I want to see how the shadows and light play on this metal. So you're just gonna basically just draw it larger. And I'm just doing the up to this point here, so we can see what's going on when it comes to the highlights and the shadows. Didn't get all that off there, did I? There we go. Get out of there. Okay. Now these lines are going to be perpendicular. And then, which means I got to get rid of that inside one right there. Okay, so we've got shadow in here. All this is shadowed. And that's because the metal is really super dark. And then halfway up this. And then on this side of this little bumpy thing, it's got that tarnished look. So, but we've got this highlight here, and then a highlight that comes around this, like that. So basically, you're just going to try and leave white or a lighter area where the light's hitting it. And then underneath it here, what I'm seeing is a very, very dark shadow. I would color this in super dark. And I have found also that this is a 2B pencil. That's what this lead is 2B. And you can get a variety of shades out of a 2B pencil. Or you can follow Mark Curley's advice and use the 2-pencil method. So we also have a highlight. It sits right on top of this here. And then again, it sits right on top of this barrel. So what we're going to do is just bring the shadow up to it. Where are you going? Are we going somewhere? Thank you. What? Okay. You do you. Again, it has that tarnished look. Closer to where everything is connecting. And what I do is I take an eraser and erase the lines from the highlights that I put in, and it makes it look more real. There, like that. So you can always draw in where you want the highlights, but just don't forget to take those lines out because it makes it look really like fakey. It doesn't look real. But once you take those lines out, you can actually see where those highlights are. Like that. So that's a little art hack for you. You want to make sure you keep all those highlights. Just put a little light line around where you want to keep those highlights at. And then when you're done with that area, just go back and, you know, shading in. Just go back with your eraser and erase those lines, and it makes a perfect highlight. And this is basically just shading in and using different tones like that. So that's this whole area right there. And you got your highlights and your shadows in pretty decently. I think they look pretty good. There we go. Let's see. Let's just put that aside. And I'm going to scoot this up. And the typical house key. We're just going to, you draw your part that, now this is off of my memory now. This is, they all have that little groove down the center. And then they have the teeth. Now, if this sort of thing scares you where you don't know how to do the teeth on a key, It's really simple. Because for starters, you don't have to draw them perfectly, of course. But all you have to do to remember for the shadows and all is you make one side shadowed, this side be kept white, then shadow, then white, then shadowed, then white, then shadow. And this gives you that where the light's hitting each one or not hitting it. Something like that. And then we'll have a little thing that sticks out up here. So then we went dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. And this will be dark. Like that. And this will be like this. And you can make the top of the key look however you want. You can do it like a round key. Like that. And so this side would be dark, like that. And then we'll put a hole in the top of the key and put them up like that. And we'll put a little edge on it because these are stamped out of metal. And that's something else. You gotta kind of remember the substance of what you are drawing and how it reflects light. If it reflects light, let's see. And then this little groove thing will have a little shadow inside of it. Yeah. Here we go. I think the hardest part is trying to make sure all the sides are kept straight. You know, you gotta make sure all your lines are as straight as possible when you're drawing something like that. Yeah, looks like a key to me. So there we are. We have our fancy keys and our plain household, like garage door key, front door key, mailbox key, whatever. So yeah, I cannot wait to see what y'all draw. You drew along with me, and I hope you did. I hope you learned something new today. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, if you followed along with us, I would really appreciate it if you let me and Jen know over on Instagram with the hashtag Drawsome Squad, just like Terra Corvus did here. So you'll get a shout out, and I will, if you have a YouTube channel, I will actually put that in the description box below as well. So until my next video, tomorrow. I will see you all later. Love you bunches. Bye.